Let me give an example from a movie in which someone acquires resources in a way that does not fit with public rules and their purposes. More precisely, I'm going to give an example in which someone apparently gains his resources in accordance with an acceptable set of rules. And yet, the way he acquires it does not fit with the public rules and especially their purposes. This example is Mr. Long from the Chinese movie To Live. In this movie, Mr. Long wants to acquire a certain very nice house that's owned by a wealthy family that's facing some potential difficulties. And the way he plans to get control of the house is through gambling. Let's look at a conversation between Mr. Long and a business associate early in the movie.
龙二，账差不多了。福贵少爷，只要照老样子，再输一晚上，您的事儿就成了。
你可别算错了。
没错，这儿有账。
福贵少爷起身了。
You see what he's trying to do. I should stress that the young man with whom he's gambling is a pathological gambler. He has a serious gambling addiction and knows it, but he continues to gamble. The young man's family is very worried about this. His wife and child come to the gambling house to beg him to stop. But here's what happens a little later in the movie.
开啊！
福贵少爷，您的账到头了，您不能再玩了，您都输光了。
光了？什么光了？
您抵押那房产折合市价，都输给龙二了。您是一片瓦一寸地都没剩下。什么事儿啊？ 谢老板，富贵少爷账该结了。
账面上没错的话，我先告辞了。 福贵少爷，您府上那院房连半间都没给您剩下，您千万别怪我狠心。我实在是太喜欢那院房了。是为，过两天府人见。
Mr. Long might deserve to have the house in the sense that he got it according to a legitimate set of rules. He has a legitimate entitlement according to a just set of rules. We could assume that there are good reasons to allow legalized gambling. Casinos, gambling houses, etc. If that's the case, then we probably need to have some rules that people have to pay their debts. If there's going to be legalized gambling, people can't just say, ooh, changed my mind, that was a big loss. I've decided that I don't have to pay you for the hand I lost at poker. However, even if that's the case, it's pretty clear that Mr. Long's behavior is not what we want to encourage. The purpose of allowing legalized gambling would be something like encouraging economic stimulus, creating jobs, giving people an avenue for entertainment, etc. We don't put the rules that people pay their gambling debts in place in order to encourage people to take advantage of pathological gamblers in order to ruin their families and take their homes. So, this is an example in which someone obtains property in accordance to an adequately just set of rules, or so we could argue. However, it's an example in which the person does not deserve to have the resources he's gained, in the sense that his behavior fits with the public rules and their purposes. It would be very different if he'd obtained the house by outcompeting the family in their line of business. If they had a business and they'd gotten lazy and they wouldn't innovate and they wouldn't pay attention to their customers' needs, and he did an excellent job and they went out of business and went bankrupt, well, we might say he deserves to have it in the sense that his behavior fits with the public rules and their purposes. Okay. We don't want rules that allow people to become lazy in running their businesses and mistreat their customers and still stay wealthy. However, that's not what's happening here. He behaved in ways that do not fit with the public rules and their purposes.